Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This week I wanted to share with you something along a similar theme to I've shown you before. A bit of a solitaire spotlight for all those solitaire gamers out there. Just something that can scratch that wargaming itch when you have half an hour to spare and you feel like playing a game but you don't want all the setup. You don't want all the preparation. You just want to grab a book, some dice, a pen, and away you go. And you'll remember I've already reviewed some of the Worthington book games that have been released in recent months, including Waterloo, and of course I've also got Bismarck as well. Well, the latest one has come out, and this is Braveheart. Another book game published through a very well-known online digital provider beginning with A. You can pick this up for about £22, and again you've got a multitude of gaming options within the booklet itself. As you can see, beautiful artwork, soft back, it folds flat on the table because you can bend the spine without affecting the pages, which is a really good part of this. You got 24 games. Half of them cover the Battle of Falkirk, where you're William Wallace fighting the English, and the other half you are fighting the Bannockburn, where you're RobertTheBruce. So the only thing I would say is that you can only play this one from the perspective of the Scottish armies, not the English armies. Unlike in some of the other versions like Waterloo, where you could play the English or the French. So that would have been nice to have had that option, but for whatever reason they've decided not to do that with this one. However, both battles play slightly differently, and you've got 2 challenge levels within each of those. So you can play at different varying levels of difficulty depending on how comfortable you feel with this game type. And what I use, as I've said before, is just some acetate, which I slide into the book in the appropriate page, and away we go. I use a overhead projector pen, white dry pen, a eraser and a dice. That's all you need for this game. So it's a great little game. You're straight into it, and you're basically, depending on the battle, you're faced with a full page spread like this. So you've got your map with your options, the bot options, and then the turn sequence and combat results tables. So it's really straightforward. Initial thoughts: great to see Worthington bringing out another one of these, and I'm really pleased and really excited by the next one coming out, which has actually been hinted to in the book, and that is Gettysburg, which I believe is due any time, and we'll cover the first and second day, so there'll be some battles linked to those events of those 2 first days of the Battle of Gettysburg. So that's great. The American Civil War is very much one of my favourite periods. This is beautifully produced. You know, I have to commend Worthington. You know, I think they found a real niche here for all sorts of gamers. You don't have to be a solitaire gamer to enjoy this. This is something you can take on holiday. You know, you can do on the train when you're going to work, whatever you like. It's very straightforward. This one probably feels a little bit more simplistic than maybe the other 2, in that it's slightly more of a slugfest. But then this period battles were like that. You've got some nice little nuances in the game. As a Scottish player, you can form Shiltron, like a defensive position, and you can come in and out of that each turn up to a certain number of activations that you have during the battle. So if you finish all your activations in Shilton or not, you know, you can't do any more after that. But that's a case of thinking about your battle plan, I think, at the beginning of the battle, and adopting the right formation. Shiltron only really avoids you getting a negative modifier as far as the a bots player is concerned. So it doesn't make a massive difference, but it does add a little bit more security to your troops. You can't really attack in that formation, so you do have, for example, in Falkirk, you have the Scots charge options, which are double activations, so they use 2 of your units' activations up, and you've got William Wallace, who can impact a reroll, and he can also allocate his activations to units that have already used all of them during the battle to actually activate them again. So you've got a few little nuances in there with Falkirk that you can do, and the same with Bannockburn. You've got, again, the Shieldtron, you've got Scots charge available. RobertTheBruce, he tends to add a more defensive element to the troops in terms of the modifiers and things he can add. And you also have this reserve element in the Bannockburn battle, where you can move troops into a reserve advance position, and it allows you to kind of focus on other enemy units. So that's, again, just some small slight nuances in there. The bot plays quite interestingly. It's just a roll of a d6, and you'll get one of 6 things happen with the units that you see in front of you on the map. But you've also always got this tactical events table that may come in as a result of a roll, and that just adds a little bit of more historical flavour to those individual battles. Quite a nice touch. So overall, you know, it's a very playable game. I played Falkirk in about 20 minutes. And I've played Bannockburn as well. It takes a little bit longer, probably about half an hour in the game that I had. I would say, as I say, this one probably is slightly less complicated, if that's the right word, to the other 2. Perhaps there's less options or less tactical choices that you can make. This one is, as I say, a bit more of a slugfest, but probably you would expect that with a battle of this period, where 2 armies just line up and go at it with each other. But I have to commend Worthington. As I say, I think you know, Mike Wiley, Sean Cook, Grant Wiley, they've come up with a really clever idea, and they're making the best of it, and I don't blame them. And I hope they're selling lots of copies of this, because I think the price point is good. It's something that most people can afford. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's very transportable. You know, as I say, you can use it wherever you are on the go. Certainly, I wish I'd had access to these books many years ago, when I used to spend a lot of my working life living out of hotels. This would have been a great thing to have in my case, to just pull out an evening and have a little game. And I'm really looking forward to the next chapter, which will be Gettysburg, and obviously, hopefully, many more chapters to follow. So look out for this one. It is available now, as I say, through that leading retailer that we all love or hate, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to follow. But this is one to, again, get your hands on, put it in your collection, and hopefully support Worthington in bringing some more of these to print, because they're great for the grognard, they're great for the inexperienced gamer, but importantly, they're also hopefully really well tailored to encouraging new people into the hobby. So I really would try and share the news around these with people who perhaps don't play war games, because there's a little bit of taste of history there, there's a little bit of war game in there, but it might just get them asking a few questions and looking or wanting to find out a little bit more about what wargaming is all about. So that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed that short overview of Braveheart. Worthington Games, another one of their book games. As it states, all you need is a dice, a pen, and a sense of adventure to play. Hope you've enjoyed the video. See you again next time.